I want you to know something, Hannah. Jake doesn't respect you. Jake Johnson doesn't respect you. He doesn't respect anybody, but mostly women. He doesn't respect. So I want all the fans out there to know, as a man, respect and value women. Jake Johnson, as a little boy, doesn't respect and value women because he doesn't respect himself.
This feels just between you and Jake.
No, I just thought that you put that out there.
It just feels like this is a bit now that's just going to go back and forth between our podcasts.
Well, so instead of listening to We're Here to Help, you should listen to the Mess Around and also the Lamorne After. The Lamorne After podcast. Why listen to anything else, especially someone who doesn't respect women?
Babe.
Yeah, babe.
Should we talk about a father's love?
We should.
Come on now.
We should.
Gather round! I like that! Yeah!
Yes!
Mess around!
That's what I'm talking about.
Stand all day.
Mess around.
Hey, messing around. We should talk about a father's love. This is episode 213 of Father's Love. I gotta say, this episode was, New Girl obviously very slapsticky, very, sometimes can be, not cheesy, but like can be, it's a funny show. It's a hard comedy, but every once in a while, I don't know, some real emotional stuff can come out of it. And this episode in particular hit me because of, for obvious reasons, I had daddy issues. And watching it, I was like, dang it.
And they really got like Winston in the mix of it.
Yeah.
Did they know anything about your personal story?
I don't know. I don't think so. I improvised a lot of jokes about it. So I
on the day.
On the day, whenever stuff would come up, I would go, man, I ain't got no dad. Like I would say that.
Yeah.
And I think they started writing towards it the same way they did. We would talk about Chicago and and it's like, oh, now your character, that's how we're going to fit it together. The Bulls, the Bears, Chicago, like our real lives are a part of the show.
Can I tell you how unprofessional I am or hyper professional I am? You just said the Bears and I went, Bear.
Oh, Lord.
So sorry.
Oh, Hannah.
I'm like a kid with like squirrel.
Oh.
I just got like personally excited about like a mention of the bear.
Hannah,
I'm just on job. That's why.
Stop.
I'm so sorry. I'm paying attention to what you're saying and it's very heartfelt. I just got a personal moment of excitement in my body.
Hannah, my dad died. How do you feel now?
Sad about your dad, happy about the bear mention.
What a dickhead.
Wait, but I'm being serious. So, because this was written by Melmoth and Berkeley Johnson and two of our greatest writers on New Girl.
Yeah.
Do you think that they knew anything of your own personal story beforehand, or this was just one of those weird art imitating life kind of coincidences and you're just kind of like in it?
Beforehand, I'm not too sure. Unless, I would have real conversations with Brett and Dave, like genuine, like my family, conversations with them. So maybe they brought that to the writer's room. It wasn't like, hey, I'm telling you this in private. It was just like, yeah, this is, I haven't seen my father in, X amount of years, So
I do remember Brett and Dave talking a lot in season 1 about using what they like the actors' stories and what they have. So you see, a lot of Zoe kind of woven in with Jess, myself. Like I think they did use people's stories. So if that was something that was shared, then there's actually a good chance. Wow.
100%. Which is weird because me personally, excellent basketball player, one of the best of all time, but yet they rarely showed it. In fact, they made fun of my basketball ability on the show, which I thought was weird,
But they did also establish you as a professional basketball player.
Yeah, but like the worst professional basketball player.
But like the best in like Latvia.
But the worst on the Latvian team. That's the way it made it seem.
But you still made the team.
I made the team.
Yes.
Maybe
I'm just trying to positive spin you right here.
I think I made the team because of something political, or I had blackmail on someone. That's why they were like, let him play.
All right, let's dive into this episode.
Let's do it.
Hit me with that recap.
Okay, so here's the deal. We got an exciting episode for you. We're going to talk about spying on significant others. We're going to talk about being friends with your ex. And of course, Dubai horse juice.
Of course.
We'll get into that. Okay, here we go.
The fact that it's called juice, I just want to say.
Horse juice. Oh,
okay,
boy. Semen. This episode written by Liz Merriweather, Berkeley Johnson, Josh Malmuth, and of course directed by the wonderful Jake Kasdan.
Yeah.
So in this episode, Nick's dad, Walt, played by the magnificent Dennis Farina, R.I.P., he surprises him by showing up unannounced at the loft. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but he is a con man for sure. And he quickly charms Jess into buying a horse, as a con man would do. And you know he's good because it ain't easy convincing somebody to buy a horse. Anyway, Jess is fixated on trying to repair the relationship between Nick and his father. Meanwhile, Schmidt enlists some help from Robbie in order to devise a plan to win Cece back. Predictably, every plan ends with Schmidt winning Cece back and Robbie getting kicked to the curb and or dying. So that is the episode in a nutshell. I normally we would go from top to bottom. I just have to say something before I forget it. White man power. White guy power.
White guy power. I was about to shout it too.
Yeah, white guy power.
I was just like, man, the fact that it's also written by two white men, they're like, you know what?
Yeah. Because everyone
we're gonna do it.
Let me tell you something. I know it's written in comedy, but I got a feeling somebody was feeling something. Berkeley and Josh, y'all got some splaining to do.
Honestly, I forgot all about it. I don't know why, because I'm in a scene where I'm standing surrounded by brown people.
Yes.
And they shouted it.
Yes.
And I had a feeling, because that was a really packed room in that scene. We'll get to it. But I have a feeling that not everybody understood the bit. So they're just in a room.
Oh my gosh.
Of two guys very unapologetically and enthusiastically
saying white guy power. And my favorite part about that is Schmidt telling Robbie, he's like, you gotta stop, that's kind of racist. And I go, after all the shit you said, what are you talking about? Now you draw the line?
He's concerned.
Yeah.
He's concerned. Yeah, I totally forgot about it. And I went like, out loud when I saw it. I was like, wow. I think I blocked that one out.
Yeah. So let's jump right into it. Jess, Winston, Nick, they're all at the table in Schmidt, and they're playing Feely Cup.
Feely Cup.
And it's a game where you stick your hand inside of something and guess what's in there.
Don't.
I'm not.
Okay.
Hannah.
All right. Here's what I'm going to say. I feel like if somebody was like, let's play Feely Cup, I would be like, it's that time.
No. Yeah.
I got to go.
Yeah.
I do not trust people.
I don't. Don't play that game with me because I like Winston. I'm terrible at pranks, so I might put something in there like scorpions.
I know you would. You'd put like a bug, like something alive or a bug or something.
Some roaches. Something
that's
like
that. That's why never.
Yeah.
I had an idea for the episode today of like, let's play Feely Cup, and then I was like, look at your face. That's correct. I was just like, you know what?
Yeah.
We have a good friendship going.
Yeah,
it's decades strong.
Yeah,
I don't want to lose it.
Yeah.
Over what you put in a cup.
Let this be a lesson to all you folks out there, ladies especially. If you go to the movies with a young man and he buys popcorn, he says, "You want to?" He gets one, and he says, "Let's play a little Feely Cup," because he's a New Girl fan. Don't trust him.
Don't trust him.
Run, because his penis is in there.
That's correct.
That's what's in that bucket of popcorn.
That's right. Popcorn and penis.
Yes, exactly. We can beep that out if we can't say.
We can't say.
I'm sure we can, but algorithms and such.
Panas.
I don't want to get shadow banned.
Punis.
Yeah, you can say punis.
All right.
Okay, so when they're playing Feely Cup, that's when Walt decides he's showing up. He just rolls in the house, and to Nick's surprise, there his dad is.
There's his dad. And then Nick goes and does something that I can totally understand, which he does angry fixing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you're frustrated, do you like to just go and like physically exert yourself to like deal with the feeling in your body?
Angry fixing. When I get frustrated, you know what I do?
What?
I get on the apps.
Oh.
And then I call a TaskRabbit to fix stuff for me while I just angrily stare at them.
Got it.
Yeah, that's what I do. and never get these hands dirty. Never.
I could just see you being so mad. I'm getting that TaskRabbit.
Yeah, it's
Get
right
him in
there.
here.
The outlet cover right there is loose. Damn it, it's loose. Fix that.
Got it. I remember in I don't even know, early high school, watching someone got so frustrated, like a kid in our school, and he punched a stop sign.
How you get up there?
Jumped. And now, genuinely, that's my thought now. It's not like that kid had anger issues. I'm like, hops, bro.
Yeah.
Did you make that work for you?
Yes. Is he
You have
pro?
some skill.
I know. That's insane.
Yeah.
You punch a stop sign. You ever drive through a neighborhood and you see holes in the stop sign?
No.
Those are bullet holes. That's the neighborhood you don't want to be in.
Got it.
Just a future. Also for you fans out there, if you're in the wrong neighborhood, you see holes in the stop sign, turn around, go somewhere else.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's your public service announcement right now?
I love giving public service announcements.
All right, okay.
We're not just a podcast recapping New Girl. We're also out here teaching, trying to make the world a better place.
Oh, we find out the nickname of Nick's in this opening from the dad.
What was it?
Lil.
You
Couldn't be a worse nickname. It's just so direct and factual.
Unless you're like, like a big guy, they call him Tiny. What's up, Tiny? And he big. You know what they call him Tiny.
Yeah, I know.
That's just it. That's just my excuse.
So you think it was not true, or the dad just was doing it to torment him, or because he was little and it was little?
It was little. You ever see that video of the kids making fun?
Oh no!
It's like 4 or 5 kids outside playing, and he's like, man, that's why you got a little dick. And he goes, no, man, I am a child.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. Props to proportion.
Yeah. Sometimes when you're a
He's
kid,
like, I'm proportionate. What?
Yeah. So what I love about this, there's a couple things going on here. Winston, Schmidt is calling Walt a con man.
Yes.
Winston's like, no, he's a businessman.
That's right.
And the reason for that, because Schmidt they both can see that. However, Winston is like, you find out later on that he has some stuff with his dad. So he's like, at least he's doing something and pops up every once in a while. My dad has never popped back up at all. So he appreciates him. And because he was around more than his own father when he was a kid, he calls him Pop Pop, which is so weird. Because first of all, a white guy wrote this, because black people, we don't call nobody Pop Pop. But I said it. I didn't correct them. That's on me.
Looking back now, would you say something now? Be like, we're not calling this man
I'm not
Pop
calling
Pop.
this man Pop Pop. I'd be like, Pops.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
I thought it was strange when you said it, and now maybe it's because I know you well enough to know, no, that doesn't want to come out of his mouth.
I didn't. Again, we're still in the second season where I felt performance-wise, I wasn't 100% comfortable in my skin on this show.
How did you feel when you met Dennis Farina? Because he's like an icon.
Yeah, it was. He's a Chicago guy as well, so there was that where I felt comfortable enough around him. But he's also a different part of town Chicago guy, hard nosed, kind of. He used to be a cop, so there was that level of him also being an acting legend. I was like a little nervous, you know what I mean? But he was super cool, except for when Schmidt or Max and Jake were making those peeping Tom jokes.
What peeping Tom jokes?
You don't remember those peeping Tom jokes?
I wasn't in those scenes.
Oh my gosh. That's
What?
a whole other. We got to unpack this one. I
Tell
think
me.
Jake might help unpack this one too when he's on the show. But so Dennis used to be a detective,
Okay.
right? And Max had this bright idea that he was going to ask, and I'm just this is I'm loosely telling the story.
Okay.
Dennis was a detective in Chicago back in the 70s. Max had this bright idea to ask him, hey man, when you were doing surveillance, did you ever see any naked ladies?
Oh God.
Dennis looked at him and was like,
Oh gosh.
no. What's your problem?
Oh.
And hated Max the rest of the shoot.
Oh no.
Yes, because Max was doing a bit. They were trying to be funny, and it was Jake and Max. Jake was kind of selling out Max a little bit by setting him up for failure, and that's what he did. He set him up for failure.
Wow.
Olivia, I think Olivia was there at one point too. Olivia Munn was there too when it happened, and she started like leaning into it, like to set Max up again for more failure. Yep.
He should have known better.
He should have known better.
Yeah.
He should have known better.
It's a vibe check at that point.
Yeah. Asking her.
Cool perk of the job, man. Share the naked lady stories. Like, get them out of here.
Gosh.
All right. Okay.
So
Meanwhile, Schmidt is spying on Cece, who is on a date. That's what they think she's on. She's actually meeting family members of someone prospective.
Okay.
And bumps into one of my favorite, Nelson Franklin.
Oh my God.
Robbie, also spying.
Yes.
There was something so funny about the idea. I remember shooting that scene. It was in that little courtyard on the Fox lot of when I read it, of having like her two exes finding common ground and just defeating the other.
Yes.
So they could just get back to at least the two of them to duke it out, that I loved so much. So much. What is it, like the enemy of my enemy is my friend?
Yeah.
That was the whole storyline.
Oh, yeah. The thing about these two, it's so strange. I don't think I've ever had this in my life before, because I am friends with some guys who we've dated the same person. But it's never like that. It's never been like we're bonding over her.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's never been.
But have you and anybody been in love with, these men are in love, want to get married and spend the rest of their lives with Cece. That's a different thing than like we dated somebody. Like they both have like their whole life plan laid out in their head with her.
I'm starting to realize this says a lot. This says a lot about Cece.
Yeah.
Why are you keeping these people around?
How's she keeping anybody? She's out there at a cafe meeting someone, and stalkers.
Clearly your locations were still on.
Hello.
Clearly
no, I think they
Robbie
follow
does.
her. I think that they don't have real jobs and they just follow her around all day like creeps.
That's creepy.
Yes.
That's creepy. Because at least with Schmidt, he lives in the loft where your best friend lives.
Right.
So at least he kind of still, you are always around.
Right.
You are in every episode. So you're always around. Robbie's not.
But doesn't Robbie turn out to be like Jess's cousin?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so.
But
Hello.
They don't. You know what I'm saying? That's new. That's a new development.
Is Jess selling out Cece's location to her roommate and cousin?
That could be it.
We're solving crimes.
Hell yeah, that's what we do here. We don't just recap New Girl or give excellent advice. We also solve crimes.
Solve crimes and irk former police officers.
Yes. Oh God. We're gonna go to break, you guys. But when we come back, remember to never forget. To always remember.
Okay. All right.
And we are back. And I'm excited to be back, Hannah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. You know why?
Why?
I don't know. So I'm asking you.
We're having one of those days.
Yeah.
That's why we can't go through life alone, man.
I know.
All right. Diving back into the episode, they're going to buy a horse.
Yes.
This is the con he's running right now.
Yeah.
Right? Walt wants to buy a horse. He needs help. He needs assistance. And he spots a mark in Jess.
Yes. Old blue eyes.
Old blue eyes.
She's gullible.
Yeah.
Right? Like she truly is.
Yeah.
And I think that's adorable. At the same time, people will take advantage of you, as we see in this episode.
Well, she kind of runs on that thing of like, well, see the best in people and give them a shot. And it doesn't really apply in this scenario.
No.
I don't feel like that's my motto. I'm not looking around trying to find the best in people.
No. Yeah.
I'm more like the Maya Angelou saying, which is like, when people show you who they are,
Kill them in their sleep.
believe them. No, that's not what we're going to murder.
Oh, I don't know. You never know what she did. You know, she could have been out here murking fools. Can you imagine if Maya Angelou was a serial killer? Ooh, what a twist!
Don't you dare talk about my Maya like that.
I know why.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, we also find out that Winston is still owed $1,100 from Walt.
Yes.
Which made me think about if someone owes you money.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever forgotten about it? Does it say front of mind now whenever you see them? Are you just going to ask for hey, bud, you forgot you owe me $500, or you just let shit slide?
I gotta say, I've loaned a lot of people money.
Yeah,
and it is something that I'm trying to go back on, but I don't remind people of it. I don't. There used to be a way I would go about doing it. If you needed something, I would say talk to my business manager.
Oh.
They'd make you sign something and come up with a payment plan.
Oh, wow.
Back. I don't do that with family anymore.
Yeah.
Just because I just don't do it. It's yours. It's if I'm giving you money, it's a gift.
Yeah.
So with friends who borrow money, I don't remind them, but my business manager does.
So you got a middleman.
I have a middleman.
Huh.
I have a middleman, and they don't always pay. My business manager knows they might not pay you back. We're not going to come after them. He's like, this is just part of,
right.
This
is to encourage good behavior.
Right. And
but a lot of them might be like Walt, who are just well, yeah, that was your choice, and you kind of know what I'm about, so
right.
That's the deal.
And some of them are. I feel like in the case of of Winston and Walt, Winston is seeing the good in him, so he's like, I'm not gonna ask him for it. Because, there's more to, he has a bigger value in my life than he probably knows.
That's right.
So I'm not going to harass him for $1,100.
I thought that was actually a really sweet moment between you and Jake. Mm-hmm. When Nick is going off about how bad his dad is. Mm-hmm. And then Winston goes yeah, but at least he's here.
Yeah.
Appreciate what you have, because this could be different.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
In that scene, this is where, going back to the top of the episode, what we talked about.
Yeah.
This is that moment, watching that scene was when it hit me. I was like, man, that's my life. That truly is my life. And if I wish that I could go backwards and obviously forgive my father without him putting his, without him stepping forward first, without him extending the olive branch first. Because once he passed away, I was like, damn, I should have, that doesn't make sense. Because I'm, even though I went through what I went through as a kid, I'm still a grown man now. I should be able to figure it out and move past it to try to mend that relationship. But I never did. And watching this episode, I was like, damn, I remember that moment of filming that, feeling that, and then never shooting it, and then never going out and actually extending an olive branch to my father. I never did that. And, you regret it. But that's why this episode was a weird one for me watching it.
I can't imagine being in the, did it feel therapeutic, or did it feel more awkward because you're just having a bunch of people stand around and it's way deeper for you?
It's probably more awkward than anything. Not therapeutic at all. Not therapeutic at all. I use comedy to move past it. That's why I say I make a lot of jokes about it. But it affects me. It has affected me in my life. But we plow ahead, obviously.
Yeah.
And so but having all, I'm sure the crew members and everybody weren't like, man, he must be talking about his real, real dad. I didn't give an Oscar-worthy performance there. It was just,
I just don't know if there was something that kind of touched a nerve that was deeper for me. Because I know how fast, how fast we shoot, all the silly bits that are happening. If I then would want to be put in a position where then I had to talk through something where those words had real weight in a silly scene, I think that would be really hard. And when I watched it, because I know all the stuff, I was just like, wow, I just can't imagine on the day you're going to have to go step out there and kind of do it. Mm-hmm. But it landed. And I think it probably made a difference to people that were watching it to be like, okay, it might not be perfect, but appreciate who you have and how they're showing up. Even if it isn't ideal, at least they're there.
Yeah. Yeah. The New Girl writers did a good job of fucking with me. So thank you for that. We plow ahead.
We plow ahead.
So they're at this racetrack.
Yeah, they're at the racetrack.
That was let me see, I wrote this down. I believe we were at the Santa Anita racetrack, which is interesting because Dennis was also on a show called Luck.
Oh, yeah.
Shot at the same place.
Wait, wasn't Luck, though, like the unluckiest show that ever happened and it got shut down because all these horrible things started happening to the horses and crew members?
Yeah, somebody died, I want to say. And
multiple things, though, happened on the show called Luck.
yeah, which is odd. It's very odd.
I remember that. I forgot about it until you just said it, but yeah. Oh, strange. I wonder how he felt being back there.
I know. We were sitting down. When you're shooting with somebody that you admire, I hate small talk with them.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what it is. I think I have a social anxiety in those moments. I start to like tense up and I don't want to have a casual conversation. I'd rather keep it professional. And then maybe if something organic happens, sure. I remember in between takes we were sitting next to each other and I was forced to talk to him. And I did not make a fool of myself, but in my mind, I probably was. I was second guessing every word that came out of my mouth and overthinking it. And it was in that moment where he told me he'd been there before, he had filmed there before. I was like, oh, well, that's cool.
He didn't share the rest of it. He was just like, I've shot here before.
I think he did talk about how it was shut down, but I don't recall exactly what that conversation was. I just remember that was the same place.
What a surreal moment for him. You both had surreal moments at the racetrack. He's back there on a show talking about horses.
Yeah.
Trying to get lucky with it.
I know.
Weird.
Are you a horse person?
No.
Really?
Nope. I always had like a really deep fear of horses because when I was young, I was like so obsessed with Superman. And I remember like seeing in the news what happened to Christopher Reeves.
Yeah.
And I was like, a horse did that to Superman?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't mess with horses then. And I never have.
You should have saw what a horse did to that one dude in Two Guys, One Horse.
Okay, all right. Well, I will never see what happens to that guy with the horse. I can imagine.
Don't look that up.
I will never look that up.
Do not look that up.
No. Nobody looked that up. Leave these poor horses out of it.
Oh my God.
Also, by the way, real question, is horse semen like a huge, valuable commodity?
I would imagine it is because people breed horses and they need that golden. It's what is it? Eugenics? What do you call that? What's the word I'm looking for?
Eugenics.
No, I'm talking about when you're breeding based off of like genetics and you're making sure that they get. Listen, sorry to bring it to this, but it goes back to like slavery days, probably even before that. Where it's like the strongest to the top, and then you would breed so you can have these. It's what Kyle always says. Kyle's always like, I'm dating I prefer my women to be 5'9" and up so we could breed NBA players. he's like, so my wife is going to be tall so our kids can go pro.
I just want to say that Kyle is in the room right now. Kyle, this is your chance. Is this true or not?
Is it?
It's factual. It's factual. Okay, all right, okay.
I'm not making that
Some
up.
tall queens, you know whose DMs to slide into. Just saying.
You trying to have a young person.
Just line up your rulers. If you make the cut, you can DM them.
Hey, I'm just saying. So I felt like that's how it is with horses. They breed to have the best horse, the best race horse.
That makes sense, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So he thinks he's found like a horse that's got that good.
100%.
And he's trying to sell it.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
Okay. I didn't know if that was like a weird thing too. I didn't know if it was real. I don't know a lot about horse semen. Shocking.
Hannah, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Did you find the bear?
I found one in this episode when you said it earlier on, and then I was really unprofessional and I got really excited about it. But I know you're not talking about the podcast episode of A Father's Love. You're talking about the actual New Girl episode of A Father's Love. And I am trying to distract you by saying lots of words really fast to make you think that maybe I found it. But the only one I found is the one on the fridge, as we know, does not count.
No, it does not count. Okay. Anna, you're letting me. You're not just
letting
me
season
down.
2 is a little bearless.
I
want to say, but that doesn't mean just because like if 95% of the time in our 100 and something episodes I find the bear, that proves more than not my bear theory, okay? And I'm sorry, in
95%.
season 2, they were just like, there's so many horses in this one, we can't squeeze in a bear.
What?
Okay.
Your math ain't mathing. What? 95%?
I'm just saying too many horses means not enough bears for this episode, okay?
Enough horsing around. I'm just trying to tell you.
We plow ahead.
I would
We
say
plow.
you have a 15% success rate on finding the bear.
Season 2 has been tough. I know. I feel like we should do this bit live. We need callers to call in and be like, here's the bear. I need support.
Oh my goodness. Let's go to break.
Let's go. Oh, not
And we're back. If you're just tuning in, Hannah yet again did not find the bear. So she is
I'm
over.
upset.
She is okay. Well, if this were baseball, you would be in the Hall of Fame. I think you're batting about 350. So where are we at? We find ourselves in a little conundrum here.
Yeah.
Walt's got a deal.
Yeah.
He finds Jess.
Yes.
He gets her to do the whole little thing that makes everyone turned off by the horse.
Right. It works.
So now he's going to go and sell it to some, I think, Russians. Were they Russian?
They're Russian-ish.
Russian-ish? I forget.
Russian-esque.
Yeah. And Nick is like, I'm coming along.
Yeah.
Now, interesting enough, I believed Walt. I was like, I think he's going to go and make some money and bring her back
You know
her
what's
money.
really crazy is I actually did too. And then I realized we're suckers.
We are.
We really are suckers because I was like, you know what? That does look like kind of like a good horse.
Yeah.
I feel like this could be like the one time he actually works it out. And I was like, this is how he gets you.
Exactly. And then Nick, pardon my French, but he fucks it up.
Well, that part was kind of sweet because he really was like, I want to like bond with my dad. And this is the thing we used to do. And I'm going to be an asset. I'm going to help.
Mm-hmm.
And he is the opposite of helpful and ends up naked dancing in a parking lot, sweating profusely.
I once, as a 6-year-old, went with my dad on a drug deal. So I get it, I was trying to help him.
Were you helpful at all?
Not one bit.
No. I remember you telling me that story for the first time.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me that story.
Yeah.
I feel the same rage in my body.
Help.
Okay, so he goes, he screws it up, he sweats, he screws up the whole deal.
Yeah.
Which causes a real like face-to-face moment between father and son.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Where they start to tell their truths.
Yeah. Which is always needed. It is you just got to get it out there. And you could take that with you. I'm going to say what I got to say.
Yeah.
You don't have to respond right now, but at least that's exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
And it's not left to, because a lot of times we'll do something, or we might be in a relationship or a friendship and we'll do something and then we kind of leave it alone and think that the other person hasn't been affected by it, or because they haven't brought it up, that they don't care.
Yeah.
But you gotta put it out there and be like, hey, listen, this made me feel like this ain't right, or blah, 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 blah. I'm good. I'm over it. However, what you gonna do with that information?
Yeah, you should just be aware. This is my truth.
Exactly.
I don't need anything from you, but this is my truth.
Right.
That's what happens. That's what happens in this episode. That's the moment that Jess kind of forces to have happen.
Right. Which is so weird because she clearly cannot get out of that parking lot.
Honestly,
just walk to the car and get in. She can't get out.
It really does. It brought back so many flashbacks because I am a self-proclaimed not great driver.
Oh, boy.
And watching her try to maneuver the trailer, I was so scared. I remember seeing I had to shoot with Max where they gave me some like fancy little BMW and I was supposed to like reverse and then drive away quickly. And I was like in a state of panic.
Oh, boy.
Because I was like, what?
Hannah.
How could you have, what if I hit Max? I had this whole meltdown and Max had to come over and be like, okay. And I was like, they have me in heels. I can't do this, Max.
Hannah.
I was like, I'm a terrible driver.
Hannah.
Yeah.
What are you saying to the people out there?
The truth. I'm saying my truth, okay? And they don't have to do anything with it.
Hannah, why?
I accept who I am and I love myself.
Hannah, why are you out on these roads?
I will say once.
It's kids out there.
I had to park like at a Target and it was a tight spot between two cars and I saw a gentleman who was asking for money outside of the Target.
He said, park my car and I'll give you a quarter.
And I asked for help parking my car.
You gotta be shitting me.
And I came back and I told my dad, he's like, how'd it go? And I was like, good. I was like, gentlemen, help me park my car. He goes, you gave the keys to my car.
Wait, he helped you by driving it?
We got in the car, I gave him my car, and I just stood on the corner and we swapped spots.
That's my time, yo. You can keep the coffee.
I got help. I needed help, and I got help. I thought that was industrious.
Hannah.
What? I got help.
Hannah, from this moment on,
Yes.
I'm judging you on such a level.
Okay.
I'm not going to respect you
That's all right.
the way I used to.
That was pretty low anyway.
Oh my gosh, Hannah.
What? I needed help.
You needed help parking at Target.
I
There was
did.
one spot left.
That's right.
And all of Target.
Yes.
And you couldn't get in it. So the
No.
man asking for change, you were like, let's make an exchange.
Yeah.
Here are the keys to my car,
That's
man,
right.
who probably hasn't driven a car in I don't know how long because this man is homeless.
Yeah.
Like he's
He did a
dealing with
great
a lot.
job.
So you tease him a little bit. Hey,
did a
how about
great
this?
job.
Get into this. I know you got a fancy car. Get into this Rolls Royce really quick and just parallel park that for your girl. Ha ha. Here's a quarter for your trouble.
I did not give him a quarter.
What'd you give him? Hannah,
20?
Hannah. That's a good amount of money right there.
Thank you.
But Hannah,
And I said, thank you. And he was thrilled to drive, he said.
yes, Hannah.
He was thrilled to be in the car.
Hannah, that's so messed up.
We had what?
That's like me going out
I'm
to
going to
eat.
see
Look,
someone and based on their condition in life be like, no, I don't think that you could help me. I'm going to ask
No,
somebody else.
that's teasing him.
I ain't
That's
judging
teasing
nobody.
him.
I needed help.
That's teasing him, Hannah. That's like
he
me
was
sitting
a
outside.
gentleman, and he helped.
That's like me sitting in one of
A
those
damsel
fancy
in distress.
restaurants, right? You sit in one of those fancy restaurants and you're outside, and then a waiter comes and he gives you your very expensive $43 soup, and it's too hot, and you say, "Hey, homeless man, you want to come blow on this soup for me?
What?
Cool it off.
This is not about blowing on no soup.
Blow my soup."
I was a
I mean-
girl that was about to damage some cars, and a very kind gentleman who may not have been employed in that moment of his life. Help me. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
Teasing that man.
Mr. Judgmental.
Hey, man, who doesn't have a home and who's going through a lot. Please, my refrigerator is broken in my home. Can you please come inside of my home, open it up, see all this delicious food, close it, but make sure you fix the coolant system in it, and then get out.
I mean, you could take all the food you'd want.
Then go back to the streets.
No, that was not what happened.
And you should have moved that man in with
I
you.
feel like this should be like an online poll, okay? Was it so wrong to ask for help when I needed help from someone who was willing to help?
Okay, Hannah. I'm disgusted.
This is, by the way, conversations that Lamorne and I would have all the time at work. Raging back. They're like, why are you guys yelling at each other? What are you fighting about? He's like, she lives on another planet. I was like, you live on another planet. And that was 10 years of working together. You guys just got an insight to our mornings at work. It's literally this. He'd be like, what'd you do yesterday? I was like, someone help me park my car. And we'd scream at each other for the rest of the day about what an idiot the other person was.
Oh my.
That's the foundation of our friendship.
Pretty much.
I can't believe I never told you that story before. It's like 20 years old, but it's a true story. I think about him to this day. He was so nice.
This is why it frightens me that I have a daughter, because you are somebody that in life will be helping guide her.
Yes.
You're like an auntie. You're gonna be like,
Yeah.
But now I'm like, no.
Things have worked out pretty well for me. I'd like to say.
Stay away from my child, weirdo. Let's you're gonna have her out in these
Ask
streets.
people for help. You don't judge them on your job. You come talk to your auntie. Don't listen to your daddy right now.
Okay, couple funny moments that we want to talk about. White guy power.
White guy power.
White guy power.
White guy power.
So set the scene for us. What's happening in this, Anna?
I don't know, but the fact that these two exes have bonded on the fact that they're white
Yes.
and they were going to have power in destroying their ex-girlfriend's quest to find love with a brown man.
Yes.
And this did not get our show canceled in any way is phenomenal work. Phenomenal work.
my gosh.
White guy power is so funny to me that I remember at the time being like, this feels like we're going to get a note back after the table read.
Oh, 100%.
No notes.
No notes.
It stuck. And it was screamed in a room full of brown people that were completely unaware that this was a bit.
Yes. And one of those brown people in that room who knew it was a bit because he was one of the producers and, executives on our show, Pavan Shetty.
Pavan Shetty is really Pavan Shetty. That's not a made-up name. That's Pavan, our Pavan, who was part of our show. And very wonderful, smart, attractive man. And they made him the apple of ZZ's eye.
Yeah. Pavan Shetty of Shetty Solutions. That's what they called it.
It does bring up the question of broken-hearted spying. When you have been broken-hearted, have you gone and spied?
Yeah, I've done that before.
Yeah, me too.
I've done that before, but
normal human behavior.
Not in like a professional way, because there are professional ways to go about doing it. Now that I have means, there is a way to go about doing it.
You just hire people?
Yeah, you hire some Navy SEAls. You hire some ex-military.
You're like, now that I got money, I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
I feel like my broken-hearted spying was like when I was in like middle school, and I was just like standing by someone's locker.
Oh, that's not really spying. That's just you, and that's
just being a creepy middle schooler obsessed with someone.
When you drive 40 minutes to someone's home and be like, "Who's over here?" That's crazy.
You've done that?
No.
Oh,
not 40 minutes.
You're like 39, 41. Let's not get lost in the details.
Whose car is this in the parking lot?
White guy power, you guys.
White guy power.
This was a fun, weird, strange, heavy episode.
Yes.
And I think it's one of those episodes for New Girl that really had the fans fall in love with the characters. There was like a lot of vulnerability, a lot of lessons, a lot of bonding.
Yeah.
I think that happened. And I feel like we got a few of those every season that just kind of stepped away from like the big jokes and the big bits. And we really got to know the characters and their relationship to each other. And I kind of had forgotten about it, to be honest with you, because my experience of this episode was being locked in a room with a bunch of brown people with two white guys screaming white guy power.
Yeah.
So getting but getting to rewatch it, I was like, this was actually really important in like the New Girl universe, this episode.
Oh, 100%. It encompassed everything New Girl is. Silliness, funniness, racistness.
All this is.
All this is, family ties, family matters, things like that. It was great. It was a good one. Let's go to break, and when we come back, I have some questions for you.
Oh, okay.
And we are back. Hannah, do you want to run this one, or you want me to run this one?
You can run it.
Okay.
All right.
So, okay, hold on. Scrap this stuff. Every form of friendship is the next. We already did this, right? No. Oh, no, we didn't. Okay. And we are back. Folks, it's time for the mess around.
Whoop, whoop.
Let's mess around a little bit, shall we?
Let's go.
Babe?
Yeah, babe.
Ever form a friendship with an ex's ex? Or stay friends with your ex's friend?
No.
Never?
No. I have had an ex's ex reach out and be like,
What's up?
That guy is the worst. And maybe like, yep.
Yeah.
That's about it. That's as far as like any bonding went, is to be like, we both made a huge mistake at some point in our life.
I once bonded with a young lady that used to date this guy that my girlfriend cheated on me with. Make that make sense.
I can't. I honestly, my brain just went full Claire Danes Homeland. I was just like, I need a board, I need pictures, I need string, I need thumbtacks.
So there's
lights go down.
There's my relationship.
Yeah.
There's my relationship, and then there was his relationship. Let's say, I'm one dude, he's one dude. I have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
He has a girlfriend.
Okay.
My girlfriend and that dude hooked up.
Okay.
So I hooked up.
Oh, okay.
With his girlfriend.
Oh, Shania Twain. You just did a Shania Twain.
Is that what that is?
Isn't that what Shania Twain did?
I don't know.
Did a swap, right? Shania Twain, her husband, I feel like this is true, right? Mm-hmm. Like, they were best friends with another couple. And then Shania Twain found out that her best friend and husband were having an affair. And they ran off together. And then she ended up and is still with, I think, her best friend's husband. They just did a swap.
Oh, yeah, I didn't do all that.
But that happened.
I didn't make a meal out of it, you know what I'm saying?
All right, next question.
Okay, Nick is a horrible liar. Do you know anyone like that?
Do I know? I know a lot of horrible liars.
Yes.
I know so many horrible liars.
But horrible, like, not like he lies too much.
No,
More
no,
so
no.
like, oh, you can't lie to save your life. Like, you're really bad at it.
I'm very good at identifying tells, and if once I know your tell, it's all over.
Okay.
I'm very good at sleuthing out a lie
Yeah.
because I'm a great liar.
Before I lie, I go like this. You know it's coming. You know it's coming.
That's right. I can tell if you're lying. That's for sure.
I can't help it. Because
Yeah.
there's always a bit with me lying. Like, I'm going to tell you at some point that I'm...
You get excited to lie. That's
Yeah.
your problem.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's
it's
your
great.
tell.
It's fun.
You
man.
get happy.
Yeah, I don't
You're
want
too
you know
happy to tell me what you're about to tell me. It's going to be a lie.
Okay, so Nick's dad is so charming, but always disappoints. At what point do you stop believing in someone?
Oh my gosh, this is such a good full circle podcast episode.
Mm-hmm.
Maya Angelou. The first time someone shows me who they are, I believe them. Bye.
That's true.
I ain't here for like third, fourth, fifth tries.
It takes me a while because my father left and I'm lacking. So therefore, I give people 18 chances. But on that 19th, you're dead to me
Okay.
until you come back.
Yeah. You are very forgiving. I will say this. Someone who's known you a long time and watched you in your circle of friends, you are incredibly forgiving, almost to a fault.
I can't help it. I love people. And sometimes people just need, the Bible says, let your light shine. So sometimes, I can lead you to water sometimes, but I can't make you drink it.
We're about to horse jokes? This is like a perfect episode. I'm very happy about this.
That's right.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll just provide water.
Yeah.
And if you feel like drinking it, sure. But you don't have to. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to drink that water.
Okay.
Because who knows? Maybe that water got pee in it.
All right. Or
You
semen.
think you got me. I'm not doing that in the water. What, you think this is Saltburn? What in the Saltburn are you talking about,
He's
Hannah?
got the horse juice in the water where the horse is drinking from.
Anyway.
This whole episode is a mess around.
Yes.
Somebody make it make sense.
Thank you all for listening. We love you. Please be sure to follow us on Instagram at The Mess Around Pod. And we'll be back next week with episode 214, Pepperwood.
Pepperwood.
That was The Mess Around. This has been an iHeartMedia production. Our executive producer is Joelle Monique. Our engineer and editor is Mia Taylor. Additional production from Daniel Goodman, Wendy Heisler, and Kyle Chevron. Our theme song was written and composed by Ronald Jukebox Jackson. So we're going to catch you next time. Bye.